welcome on into another episode of Getting Well with Terry and Friends. I'm Terry, Dave beside me, Ryan down below, and we are ready to break down some Tuesday, Tuesday sports. There's a ton of sports on today, and I have picks in NBA, NHL, even have some college picks that I am going to give out that I'm starting to cap, and we will see how that goes. But we'll start the show as we usually do, and that is take a look at these standings. Obviously, the standings, not how anybody wants them. Currently, NHL, college basketball, doing a bit rough, but I'm proud to be one of the few shows that show the record consistently and really in depth. So there's going to be winning times. There's going to be losing times. In the end, as long as we're profitable, it'll be up and downs, but that's the way sports betting goes. Nobody wins constantly. So we'll move on. NHL overall not doing too well. Some of us doing well, some of us not doing well in different categories. But long season, and we'll work at it today. It's a new week here. Basketball overall profitable on all three categories, especially a dog of the day and over under. NFL hasn't changed. Over under, best bets going great. Dog of the day a little bit down. College basketball again, profitable best bets over under, a little bit down.
Football
dog of the day. College football, sorry. College basketball. It's been a rough start for best bets. Currently 0-9 overall on best bets. Dog of the day, a little bit profitable. Over under going well. Here, other sports, exactly the same as it previously was. We will get to the standings here. It's time. Barstool Boost, Sabres, Vegas, Red Wings all to win, and over 5.5 goals in the Detroit Canadiens game. So that's a 4-teamer for the Boost. I only like one of those things. So. Pens, Sabres, and Panthers all to win. The last time Sabres were into Boost, they lost. Well, I do like the Penguins. Panthers, I could see Panthers being the one that screws that Boost up. But we will see. Sabres for the Cup. I went with under. And Devils, Canadiens, Leafs money line because of the Boost. Not going to turn my back on Sabres. Thumbs up. Pens were iffy, but when I heard the Boost, boom, Leafs. You'll also see why I'm not backing out of the Sabres. Thanks, Richie, for smashing the like. Much appreciated. And then Nick says Tim and IceX are trash. All right. We will move on along and we'll look at the hockey slate. I have most of the games typed out here. Three games we'll go over at the end in goalie poll. But we'll start with the first one, and that is the Buffalo Sabres and the Vancouver Canucks. Here, you can get Vancouver -110 to +101. Buffalo -110 to -122. 6.5s. There is 1.7 available as well in this one here. And for me, I'm taking the over. 6 of the last 10 and the last 3 meetings between these teams in Buffalo went over 6.5. 7 of Vancouver's last 8 games have gone over 6.5, and 6 of Buffalo's last 8 games have gone over 6.5. These teams are scoring goals. I won't be surprised if we see a 3-3 game sometime in the second period. So I like the over 6.5 in this one. Obviously, it was good to get it last night. I got it for -125. Now you're going to have to pay -130 and is the best in most spots. So I can see why it's moving towards 7. But I still like the over here in this one. No real opinion on the side. Both these teams are struggling. I can't pick who wins, but I see goals in this one. Dave, Canucks and Sabres. Any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I lean Sabres team total over. I looked at it. It was one of the looks that I had, but I already have 2 bets in hockey, and that's plenty for me. one forced, as you know, and one chosen. So I'm going to stay off this game, but I lean Sabres and the over. I mean, I lean Sabres team total over if I can talk.
Okay, you just got Tim way too excited saying you lean Sabres. But Ryan, what do you think here, Canucks and Sabres?
Yeah, there's been a strong trend of the under in the league. So Saturday was a big day for unders. It's like 10-3 for the unders. So I'm taking overs with a lot of caution now. But this is an over game. This is two teams that play a lot of overs. And I look at teams that are involved in high scoring games, both giving up goals and scoring goals. And these are two of the top 5 teams in the league in terms of total goals per game, scored and allowed. So I'm on the over. This says over all over it. So it's easy play on the over for me.
All right. I knew it won Forrest. Dave is not being forced to bet Minnesota every game. He's chosen to do that.
Fake news.
But we will get on to the next game. We have the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Pittsburgh Penguins in this one. You can find Toronto minus 105 to minus 115. Pittsburgh is minus 105 to plus 102. 6.5s right across the board in this one. As soon as I saw that Matt Murray was starting in net for the Leafs in tonight's game, I saw that last night. I was thinking, okay, I want to go and bet Pittsburgh. I looked at the recent history. Pittsburgh has won 3 in a row at home against Toronto, 4 of the last 5 meetings in Pittsburgh. The Penguins have won. And they've started to look like they got over that rough stretch. They had a really rough stretch there where they were losing games convincingly. But now they seem to go back to their normal selves. They did just beat Toronto a few games ago. It is Matt Murray against his former team, but he's been out a long time. And will he even stay healthy the full game? That's a fair question with his history of injuries. He may not even make it to the third period. So he's a wild card whenever he plays. I get it, the former team angle, but I like how Pittsburgh's playing right now at home as a dog. So I have Pittsburgh money line here in this one. Dave, Maple Leafs and Penguins, what do you think here?
No, I don't ever play in this game. I want to get behind the Penguins. I've just been burned the couple times I've bet them this season. And you know how I feel about the Leafs. So it has nothing to do with how they play. It has to do with their name. So I haven't, to tell you the truth, the Leafs haven't been in many of my looks this season. So I don't have a grasp on them. And Pittsburgh, like I said, I want to get behind them, but I think I bet them twice this season and lost. So we'll stay, like I said, I already have 2 bets and even liked other games better than this one. So I'm off.
Oh, in the first period. Oh, okay. So Jay Stone saying Dallas is very good on the first period. No Barch of the Penguins, Dave?
No, that didn't work out. That was like my most glorious moment in NHL capping ever. And the 2 times I've bet him, actually 3 times because I bet him. That was in preseason when I did that thing. So anyway, no, I'll find ways to get behind him. I just, there's better bets, I think.
For sure. Ryan, Maple Leafs, Penguins, what do you think of this one?
Well, I was on the Leafs Friday when these two teams played, and I lost that. So I'm not really thrilled about getting involved in this game. I like William Nylander at plus 200 to score a goal. The Leafs are switching around their lines again. So I think he's in a good spot to score a goal tonight. No feel on the side. I lean under, but I'm not playing it.
All right. We'll move on along to the next game here. We have the New Jersey Devils and the Montreal Canadiens in this one. My free pick up on Picks and Parlays for today that I put up is in this game. You can find New Jersey minus 179 to minus 192. Montreal is plus 150 to plus 165. 6.5s right across the board in this one. New Jersey continues to find ways to win games. They haven't really been winning games convincingly, but the Devils have won their last 5 games in Montreal, 9-1-1 in the last 11 games against Montreal. And this Devils team is different this year. I think they are ready for this game. I think this is a smash spot for the Devils. I have the puck line, which I got a plus 160. You're now looking at plus 140 to plus 130. So obviously the value has gone down there. But the Devils they're just playing so well right now. They have the magic. I've been saying they just find ways to win games. And I think they win this game something like 4-1. I think it's a convincing win for the Devils in this one. So I like them on the puck line. Dave, Devils, Canadiens. What do you think here?
Yeah, by the time I wanted to start betting the Devils was by the time it was too late, because usually with a bet and a team and a streak or how teams are doing, once the train's down the tracks, once the public's on them, the first time you bet them, the dog's going to win, or the tide's going to change. So I'm off. I mean, kudos to anyone that was betting them, just like people that were betting the Flyers before. But I'm off this game. Actually, zero interest in this game, to tell you the truth.
All right. Ryan, Devils, Canadiens. What do you think here?
Yeah, I think the best play is over 3.5 on the Devils. They're playing a good Montreal team that's playing well right now. They've won 3 straight as well. So I just think that's the best option on the board is the team total over 3.5, and that's cash 6 of the last 7 Devils games.
All right, I like it. We'll move on along. I do have a player point parlay, a 6-game, 6-player parlay, which I really like, which I'll give out later on. Instead of going each player game by game, I'll give it to you later on in the goalie poll segment. But moving on along to another very good game that I'm very interested here in tonight. We've got the Dallas Stars and the Tampa Bay Lightning. You can get Dallas plus 108 to plus 117. Tampa minus 130 to minus 135. Sixes, I do see some 6.5s available as well in this one. And I'm taking the over 6 here in this one. These two teams have been trending to the over very, very heavily as of late. I will bring up my write-up, which I do not have handy for this one because I did not write it down. I'm a bit of a slacker, I guess, here. But I'll get up the numbers here. So Dallas's last 7 games have had at least 6 goals in them. 5 of 7 have had at least 7 goals. So they've been going they've been having very high scoring games lately for Dallas. And then Tampa Bay have had at least 6 goals in 9 of their last 10, 7 plus goals in 6 of their last 10 games. So they've been going over as well. Dallas has scored 4 plus in 5 of their last 6. Tampa has scored 4 plus in 5 of their last 8. I'm not quite sure why we're seeing 6s available in this game. I think it should be 6.5 across the board. I get it. Jake Ottinger's back, but the one game that he was back was finished with 6. And the other went over. So I like goals. I think Dallas does their fair share against Brian Elliott. And I think we get another high-scoring game in this one. I'm on the over 6, Stars and Lightning. Dave, Stars and Lightning, what do you think here?
Yeah, probably one of my proudest moments in my burgeoning NHL capping career. I like the Stars. There's enough data now to take last 10 games, which I think is the thing I'm going to do, just like I take last 2 weeks in baseball. But last 10 games, the Lightning have held their opponents to under 3 goals only twice. And then in the past 10 games, the Stars are averaging 3.5 goals per game. So I like the Stars. I kicked around the Stars team total over, but I landed on the Stars money line. It was a plus 143. Now that Vuvuzela isn't in goal, it went down to like plus 114. So I got 30 cents a line value. So yay me. I'm the best NHL handicapper on the show. I say that not this anyway. Someone who hasn't watched your show, the people that have know that's not true. But for anyone that doesn't, I say that very facetiously because I'm definitely the least experienced.
All I was going to say is no comment. But Ryan, Stars and Lightning, what do you think here?
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing both of you are, and that is the team total for Dallas is 2.5 at a minus 140, and that's a lot of chalk. But I just don't see how that doesn't hit. And like Dave said, it's only 3 times all year the Lightning have given up less than 3 goals. So I just don't see how this doesn't hit. And the over is a good look as well. And I think the same thing. It's like this should be a 6.5, but the books are saying, well, Ottinger's back, so this the Dallas is going to go back to their old defensive ways. But no, this is going over, and the team total is going to hit. I just don't see it missing.
Yeah, and I put the over 6. So for people that are thinking, oh, is it because Elliott's in net? I put the over 6 in expecting Vasilevsky. It doesn't matter to me who's in net for either of these teams. It's just the way they're playing right now. So the goaltenders didn't really matter for me. Isaac likes the Lightning. He thinks they strike tonight. We'll have to see. I lean more with Dallas, but I just like goals. We'll move on along to the next one, the Wild and the Predators. You can find Minnesota minus 104 to minus 117. Nashville minus 103 to minus 115. Sixes. I do see a couple 5.5s available in this one as well. Nashville 8-0-2 in their last 10 at home against Minnesota. Minnesota has not enjoyed coming to Nashville to play the Predators. The Wild did win the last matchup last year in overtime, a higher scoring game in this one. For me, my angle in this game is Marc-Andre Fleury. If you've seen what he has done, it has just been shut down. Vezina style Marc-Andre Fleury for his last 10 games or whatever. So he's played so well recently. Saros, not his same self from last year, is coming off a good win against the Rangers, but they faced Halak, so that's not really that doesn't really say too much to me. But I am on the Wild money line. No surprise. It's a great price, and I'm going to be on them every time they're at a good price like this. And I also am on Marco Rossi to score his first goal in his NHL career. He's been moving from the 4th to the 3rd line. Hasn't really got that opportunity. He's on the 2nd line tonight with Marcus Foligno and Matt Boldy. Rossi and Boldy played in the AHL a lot together, a lot last year. Obviously, power play time. They were on the same line. A lot of chemistry between Rossi and Boldy. So I think Rossi gets his first goal tonight, and I got it for plus 650, which is an unreal price for Marco Rossi. I think he finally hits the back of the net tonight. Dave, Wild, who you're not being forced to bet against the Nashville Predators. What do you think in this game?
No, I am being forced to bet them. And the other thing is, I didn't realize. I saw the line, and I know against the Predators, and I said, oh well, this is a decent line. I'm putting my half a unit on there. But Terry points out that the Predators, by the way, #MeToo, the Predators do what they do. They lure this team into their home to take advantage of them, and that's what they do. So that scares me a little bit. But obviously, like being lured into a home and being taken advantage of and overpowered, I've been coerced to bet this Wild team. So I'm on the Wild half a unit, begrudgingly.
All right. Nick's even backing the Wild today, saying it's more of a fate of Nashville than a play on Minnesota. Preds' defensive numbers have been bad. So it may be a good time for the Wild to score some goals. Listen to the tone Terry just gave Dave. All right. And then people wondering what the heck is going on with Isaac saying the stuffed doll and the stuffed tiger. That is talk from the Ice Guys chat. Ian has a Hamilton Tiger Cats tiger up on the wall. And Isaac is saying, oh, we should bet Nashville because of that tiger. And I'm like, it's not Nashville's tiger. It's Hamilton Tiger Cats. So, yeah, I thought I'd explain that there. But Ryan, Wild, Predators, pretty much a pick 'em in most spots. What do you think in this game?
Yeah, this is a tough one. UC Saros has some of the worst 5-on-5 numbers in the league. Like he's having a really bad year, and he got benched after he got benched in the Kraken game. Then he came back and had a really strong game. So he may have, that may have hit home. So I think UC Saros has a good game, and Minnesota isn't exactly scoring a lot of goals. So this, to me, trends to the under. Even if you can get one of those sixes, I think an under might be a good look here. The other thing too is the Wild are coming off a particularly bad loss. Blowing a 2-goal lead against the Sharks, and the Predators are coming off a big win. Against the Rangers. So they're sort of teams. I think the spot sets up kind of well for the Predators actually. But I'm not on the side, and I'm not. I'm going to take a pass on the total. But I like the Predators in the under.
All right. I think I could be under some stress. I think this could go to overtime. The hockey gods will probably send this to overtime to give me a bunch of stress like they did against the Sharks game. Obviously, that didn't end well. But yeah, I kind of lean with the under too. The Flower. Just watch the Flower. But we'll move into the final game before we get into goalie pull. Then we'll get to the other sports there before getting to best bets. We have the Sharks and the Vegas Golden Knights in this one. You can get San Jose plus 190 to plus 235. Vegas minus 250 to minus 295. 6.5s. I do see a 6 available in this one. The Sharks starting to win some games, starting to gain some confidence, playing pretty well. But now they're coming to their house of horrors. The last place that the Sharks ever want to come is to face Vegas. Vegas 5-0-1 in the last 6 at home against San Jose, 13-0-2 in the last 15 meetings against San Jose. And they've won the last 5 games all by 2 or more goals. Vegas off a loss to St. Louis, breaking their winning streak. I like them to bounce right back here against a team they've dominated for years. Give me Vegas minus 1.5, which I got for plus 100. You can find it at plus 105 in one spot, minus 105 in early others. I wouldn't go past minus 110 for the puck line here, but I like Vegas in this spot. I think they dominate the Sharks in this one and bring the Sharks right back down to earth after their few winning games they've had. Dave, Sharks, Golden Knights, what do you think on this one?
Did you just call Las Vegas the House of Horrors?
For the Sharks, yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
And I said horrors.
There are a lot of whorehouses in Nevada, but just not in around Vegas. You got to go outside. But anyways, the Vegas Knights have been a team that I've liked to back, and I should have bet them a lot of times. I didn't, just because, like I said, I'm dipping my toe in the NHL pool. But the Sharks actually haven't been letting up as many goals as they had before. They were the worst. The first few games, the worst team in the league, and now they're 5, 6, 7. I forget what it is. There are a bunch of teams underneath them. The only way to bet this game is, like Isaac said, is to get above the odds and lay some goals with Vegas, but I don't like it. So originally I thought Predators team total over 4. Predators. See, my mind's on sick mind. The Vegas Knights team total over 4, but I passed because I have 2 other bets. I have an automatic bet that I'm being forced to bet, but there are other bets that I like more. So,
all right. And yes, I had a speech impediment as a child, and I couldn't say my R's correctly.
Me too.
So that's why it's instead of horror, it may have came. But yeah, anyways,
I
Ryan,
couldn't say my own last name. I said Wodgers until I was like 8.
There we go. So I'm not alone. It's all good. Ryan, Sharks and Golden Knights. What do you think of this one?
Yeah, I saw that Sharks defensive Radim Simek is out, and the Sharks are one of those teams that can't afford to lose a defenseman, and this is a mismatch anyway, and the Sharks give up a lot of goals. So I think the Golden Knights team total is worth a look. The puck line, the Golden Knights in some form or fashion. I haven't gone to the window yet, but they're gonna blow out the Sharks, I think.
All right, I like it. Moving on to the goalie pull segment, Washington, Florida. I've been looking at the over all day. I've been leaning on the over. I haven't pulled the trigger yet. And then I decided what I'm going to do in this game. I'm going to wait, and I'm going to live bet this game. I'm going to live bet the over. Obviously, it's at a 6.5 now. As soon as it starts, it'll probably move to a 6. I may grab it at a 6. I may try and wait till it goes to 5.5. See if it goes to 5.5. But I'm going to play this live and get the live over. Bobrovsky has been horrible. I think it's fair to say. 5 of his 8 games this year have gone over 6.5. 5 of the last 7 meetings between these teams in Florida, I've gone over 6.5. The 2 games that didn't landed on 6. So these 2 teams have went over when they faced each other, and Bobrovsky's games have been going over. So I like the over, but instead of taking the 6.5 pre-game, I'm going to get 6 or 5.5 live at a better price. Philadelphia, Columbus, pass. As soon as I saw that game, I took it right off the board. I'm done with Philadelphia. They had their run. They played well, burnt me the last couple times I backed them. So I am no longer going to be taking them. But I'm not backing this Columbus team, who after losing, I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. The defenseman. Sorry, yeah, no, they just lost Laine, but Werenski. They lost Werenski for the rest of the year, and now Laine's out 4 weeks. I don't want any part of this Columbus Blue Jackets team, but I'm not taking Philadelphia either. So that game is easy pass on this slate. And Detroit, Anaheim, kind of the same thing. I want to back Detroit at home. It would be a lean to Detroit in this one, but ultimately I'm on like every other game. So I'm just going to pass on that one. I'll be watching Vegas if I watch anything at that time of night later on. But I will go over. I do have a 2-team parlay. I'm taking New Jersey Devils and Vegas Golden Knights both on the money line plus 110. And then a 6-player point parlay from Washington Capitals, Alex Ovechkin. From Buffalo Sabres, Tage Thompson. From New Jersey Devils, Jesper Bratt. From Dallas Stars, Jason Robertson. From Minnesota Wild, Kirill Kaprizov. And from Vegas, Jack Eichel, all to get 1 point each, which I got for plus 890. So that is my player point parlay of the day. And that's about it for me in the NHL today, so far, at least. Dave, goalie poll, the final 3 games. Anything else you like on this slate?
No, Washington, Florida, no opinion. I'm sad I can't bet the Flyers, but I'm with you especially against that shitty ass team. But I'm not. And then the work boots and the Ducks, that's a bum fight. See, I wish that I knew more about hockey because, as you know, all the sports that I cap, I get involved with the bums. That's what I do. That looks like a game that might have some value in it somewhere. I wouldn't know where to look for it. So.
Isaac says Red Wings -1.5, -2.5. That's definitely value.
Are they the favorite though? Like,
no. Well, they're -108.
Okay, so it's like even, yeah.
I don't know. They're -120, -115 in some spots. Yeah, they're kind of the favorite, but the puck line is +175 to plus. Actually, yeah. So most of the puck are +175, +200 for the puck line. Philadelphia, Columbus, sketchy. Yeah, I totally agree. And Isaac likes Flyers money line. Best of luck. We'll see if they can do it for you. Ryan, goalie pull, the final 3 games of the NHL slate. What do you think?
Yeah, I actually like all 3 of these games. I think Washington's kind of a shit show right now, and more so than usual. The press clippings are saying that their game against Tampa Bay was the worst of the season for them. They didn't record a shot until 17 minutes into the game. They're flip-flopping their lines around, not in a good way. They're like, they can't find the right they got Milano back up on the top line with Ovechkin and Kuznetsov. They just don't know what they're doing. It sounds really disorganized in Washington. And so I'm looking at Florida in regulation in that game. Now, this Philadelphia and Columbus is interesting. I like the Blue Jackets. And I think what this is cruel and unusual scheduling. These 2 teams played on Thursday, and the Jackets won that game. And the Flyers have had to play 2 games in the meantime, and the Jackets have only had to play 1. It just seems like the scheduling is really set up for the Blue Jackets. And I understand they were in Finland, last week, but I think this, with the scheduling spot and the price we're getting, I understand Liney's out, but they've been dealing with that with him being missing all season long practically. So I think this is a good spot for Columbus. And I agree with Isaacs, and I think Kev in the on the Red Wings. They're going to win this game. Like, I just can't back Gibson. Is a Gibson in goal for for Anaheim? He's 2-8-1 in the season. One of those games was the season opener. You just can't back Anaheim the way they're playing in this game. And Bertuzzi is back now for Detroit. They're going to get a lift from that. We're getting a bargain here with Detroit. Oh, and also I agree with you, Terry, about Ovechkin. He scored 3 points or more in like 3 of the last 5 games against Florida. So you could look at Ovechkin getting a couple points, at a good price, or maybe even 3 points in this game.
Well, I like that. I'm surprised it was at 0.5. That's what I kind of look at, is when I get those top players at 0.5 points. It's great for when I'm doing a parlay. Finding Ovechkin at half a point and finding Kaprizov, he's been 1.5 for a while. So those are 2 good parlay pieces for those that do parlay. Going on to NBA today. I was looking at Memphis as an underdog in New Orleans. Didn't get involved. Clippers and Dallas. I am looking to get involved with Luka point prop. I haven't looked at the odds, but if I'm going to get to anything in that game, that's where I'm going. I do have a bet on Utah -4. You can find them now -4.5. I think you can see it still get. It's mostly 4.5, so I do see a 5 available too. Utah's been great at home, and they've been playing well. Coming off a couple losses there on the road, but they're 5-0 at home. I like them here against the Knicks. And then I took Sacramento, which I got -125. You can get it for -120 now on the money line at home against Brooklyn. I backed them against Golden State, plus the points. Sacramento's been keeping games close, has been winning games. I really like what I've seen from them. So I'm going to back them here at home in the NBA. Dave, anything in the NBA that you like today?
Yeah, I was looking. I have one game, and that's the Knicks and the. Just mind blanked on who they're playing. The Knicks and the Jazz. The Jazz are at the Knicks. Both two teams that can score. The Jazz are completely surprising. I thought they'd be one of the worst teams in the NBA because all their players left, but for whatever reason, they're doing fine. I think they, regress. And the Knicks, they're 6-7. They're a well put together team. There's no superstars, but I mean, their top 3 players, Julius Randle, RJ Barrett, and Jalen Brunson, they're all averaging around 20 points, which is, to have 3 players averaging 20 points and you're starting 5 is really good. The problem is they don't play defense, and the Jazz defense is middle of the road. So I know that the total seems real high. I got it at 229.5. It went up to 232, and then now DraftKings went back down to 231. So I'm confused on the advice to give, but I think anything under 232 is a go. So this is my total, by the way, for today. So Jazz Knicks over 231.
All right. Well, we got a lot of Jazz points from there. Go Jazz. Ryan, NBA picks. Anything in the NBA you like today?
Not today, no.
All right. Moving on to other picks, which is college picks. I am getting involved with the college football game today. I took Ohio -3.5, -110 against Ball State. I'm not going to go into deep analysis because I don't really have any. I'm dipping my toes in the water, but it looks like Ohio's a better team. I think they should win this game by 7 points or more. They have the better offense and the better quarterback, so I'm backing Ohio on the road. And then I did get involved with 2 college basketball games. I know, what am I thinking? I took University of Kentucky in Michigan State. I got University of Kentucky -5.5. I think it's now moved to like -7 in most spots. And then I took Drexel Dragons at home against Pennsylvania. Drexel -1.5 for -105. And now Drexel is the underdog. So it's kind of moving away on the other side there for me in that one. But taking my stabs, trying to see how things go with college picks, and we'll see how they go. But disclaimer, I am definitely not a college expert whatsoever. So tail with caution. Dave, college picks, what do you think here?
So I don't hate that Ohio pick. For the college football, there are 2 games on, and usually I have a play in them. I lean both favorites, Ohio and Toledo, even though Toledo's like a 17. I think at 15 points where it was better. At 17, I wouldn't take a side or a total in either of these games, but if I had to, the best bet would be Ohio. So, Terry, I don't know if you threw darts or you had, I know why you like the quarterback's great, and he is the brother of Rourke's their last name. I always get Curtis is the guy that's there now. The other guy is playing in BC for the CFL.
Nathan, yeah.
Who's very, very good, and he broke all the school's records. So, that's a good pick, actually. So kudos there. In basketball, Kentucky is the favorite. The problem with betting those types of games is the lines are super, super sharp. I have a play with 2 teams that I doubt many people can tell you where they are. I can, but Bucknell and St. Peter's. I like usually with St. Peter's in early season, I like unders. This one's at 135, and usually their totals are around 130, so that kind of tells you something. But both of these teams can score, 65 points, 65 to 68 points easily. And Bucknell gives up a lot of points. I mean, I'm looking at last year's statistics, but with these schools, they're not getting top high-end recruits. So you can kind of look at last year's stats with lower level basketball teams because there are a lot of the same guys. They're not one and done guys. They stay for a while. So Bucknell gives up a bunch of points. I think this pushes into the high 30s. Probably not much more than 140, but 135 seems a few points too low. So in a rare St. Peter's total bet, I'm taking the over.
All right. Tim likes St. Peter's Peacocks as well. And then Richie likes Chattanooga +10. Ryan, and then Tim likes Bucknell Bison.
How could he like both? They're playing each other.
Oh, okay. Well, Tim's lost it then. Ignore Tim. Ryan, college picks. I know you won your call. I know you won one of the college picks that you gave out yesterday or the other day. Do you have any today?
Yeah, I'm on the Jayhawks actually. So this is number 6, number 7, Duke in Kansas. It's going to be a neutral site game in Indianapolis. Some unusual things are taking place. The Kansas coaching staff is not going to be there because they're serving a suspension. We know Duke has a new coach this year. Duke is a super talented team, and they've got a lot of good, 5-star recruits. One guy's injured and is not going to play, so I think the betting on spots for Duke are going to be later in the year. So Dariq Whitehead is going to be out and not going to play. We're going to see Kyle Filipowski tonight, who's another 5-star recruit, big power forward for Duke. But I like the situation here, and I just like the more experienced team in an early season matchup to do well. And getting Kansas as an underdog here is a good spot, in spite of the fact that Bill Self is out. So I'm going to take Kansas as an underdog, and I'm going to be looking for spots to bet on Duke later in the year.
All right. We will move to the best bet segment. We've got a lot of picks. A lot of picks were sent in today. So we have a lot of picks that we'll go over. Didn't bet it, but go Kansas. Fuck Duke. All right. There we go. Somebody actually chose Duke as their best bet. But we'll get to that here shortly.
I know who that is.
But looking here at over or under here, let me bring it up. So for me, I'm going Dallas, Tampa Bay over 6. Nick is going with Tampa Bay Lightning team total under 3.5. So is occupancy. Tim is taking UNC Wilmington, a team total over 58.5. Bryant is going with San Jose Vegas under 6.5. IceX is going Pittsburgh Penguins team total over 3.5. Dave, you said you're going New York Knicks and Utah over 231. Will is going with Minnesota Nashville under 6. And Kev is taking Toronto Pittsburgh over 6.5. Ryan, is there a total that you like today?
I'm going to take Buffalo Vancouver over, and I'll pull up. I thought I got a better price than you meant. I think I got minus 25 right before the. It's still minus 25 in my book.
For minus one. No. All right. Yep, line shopping is important. But we'll move on to dog of the day. For me, Pittsburgh Penguins. The best you can find them for currently is plus 104. Tim is taking Michigan State Spartans plus 250. Tim is going with Dartmouth plus 380. Bryant is going with Mercer plus 135. IceX is taking the Montreal Canadiens plus 165. Will taking the Washington Capitals plus 165. And Kev, Dallas Stars plus 117. I guess we did have some movement here late because there are three people on Dallas. Now there's one. So there's been some movement here in the dog of the day section. Dave, is there a dog that you like today?
Yes, and I'll throw the Stars back up there. I hope they shine big and bright at night. Deep in the heart of Texas. Let's go. Dallas Stars.
There we go. Ryan, dog of the day for you. Is there one?
Yeah, Kansas Jayhawks plus 105.
It's going to be a good game to watch.
All right. And then going on to best bet of the night. For me, my best bet, Vegas Golden Knights minus 1.5 plus 105. Nick is taking the Detroit Red Wings minus 108. Tim is taking Stony Brook Seawolves plus 12.
Love it.
Occupancy is taking Buffalo Sabres money line minus 111. Bryant is taking Duke minus 1.5. IceX said occupancy. I see your Sabres money line. I'll raise you Buffalo Sabres minus 1.5 plus 225. Will's taking Dallas Stars team total over 3. And Kev is taking Thomas Tatar for New Jersey Devils over 0.5 point plus 100. Dave, what is your best bet on today's card?
Bucknell, St. Peter's, over. Let me make sure I get the best odds. I don't think the line's moved that much. I expected it to go up, but what the hell do I know? Line movement in basketball has been herky-jerky. 135. Over 135.
Do you have odds for that?
Yeah. Let's see. I just got out of that. And
shit, sorry.
Minus 110.
Or it's hard for me because I don't know when these teams play, and I have to look through this long list. I know. It's annoying. But Ryan, best bet for today. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to take Florida Panthers in regulation. It's about minus 125.
Florida in regulation, minus 125. And that is today's show. Here, Leafs can still win a Penn score more than 3.5. Yes, they could, but go Penguins. Yes, Dave. Kev, like something.
The Stars.
The Stars, yes. Perfect. Lightning wins. Okay, whatever, IceX. Tongue face. IceX is fading me all night. IceX fades people. That's what he likes to do. That's his angles, I guess. But yeah. Great show, friends. Thanks, Richie. Great show, everybody. Best of luck on your bets tonight. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the content, smash the like button. We appreciate all the support. We'll see you again tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a very small card for me tomorrow. But it is what it is. Bigger card today, smaller card tomorrow. But we will see you tomorrow. Best of luck, guys. Have a good one.